This is the Parks and Rec, February 18th Advisory Committee meeting. We have a proper quorum. I believe our minutes from the last meeting from November 19th has been emailed to each of us. I know we have some new members here, but have we had the opportunity to look them over?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to accept them as written.
Okay, we have a motion to accept.
I will second it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll jump into old business. We have one item, pretty successful item. It was the daddy-daughter dance right before Valentine's Day this year. But Jeff, do you have any numbers for us? Or?
We had 153 total.
Yes.
And that was about 56 dads and the rest was daughter. The way we had it set up is if you could bring as many kids or many children as you want for the purchase of your one ticket. So it was great. We didn't know what to expect. You know, first one we've ever done, we set tables up for seating for 65. Feedback. And we were optimistic that we'd get that, and we were pulling chairs off the rack and setting it up. So it was great. It was good to see fathers and their daughters bonding like that. The music was good. I guess if there was one improvement, we were asked not to serve red punch next year as it stains easy. So we'll make a change there. But it was great. Just we'll improve on it and do it again next year.
I believe we had a few members that were there. You wanna?
I don't know how we could improve on it. That was rocking. It was the absolute sweetest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. There was one dad that was there with four daughters, and not one of them got left out. He danced with all four of them. It was just the sweetest thing ever. And I mean, I didn't see anybody not smiling. Everybody was just from ear to ear. It was sweet. It was really sweet.
We got them all sugared up and sent them home. It was great.
And just for the record, Miss Donna made the cookies. Oh my Lord. They were, and all the little girls, fighting over their cookies. So we need to keep that in mind in the future. Donna makes cookies. And they were really sweet. When they came back to have their pictures made, we had them put their email addresses. So they not only went up on the city Facebook page, but they also got their pictures emailed so they could print them out and put them in a frame at no cost to anyone.
Awesome. It's another one of the new programs that Parks and Rec has brought to the city. And, pretty awesome. Anything further on that? All right. We'll jump to new business, and I want to welcome a couple of our new board members. Jason, we welcomed you last month at a workshop, but this is your first televised meeting. And Deb Balthrop, was your first meeting? Very happy to have you. Both of you all have been very active in many of our city events, but really glad to have you here on the board, so welcome.
Well, thank you. It's a privilege to be here.
Good deal. Yes, sir. All right, we'll jump to number 2. It's our next item, our next program we got coming up, and it'll be the Easter egg hunt, which will be the Saturday before, a week before Easter, which is March 23rd, 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park. If we have another turnout like we did last year, and the weather is as nice as it was, it'll be really terrific. I'll say that it'll be 20 degrees and snowing, but.
The bunny will be warm.
The bunny will be warm, that's right. That may be. But at any rate, again, I think it was a great move, moving it to veterans last year. We had it for years over here at Centennial, and it's just I think, better for parking and so on. So
I think we pretty much outgrew it as well.
Absolutely.
The crowd last year was overflowing. It was very large.
You want to add anything to that? Or?
No, but if we could, I did pass out an amended calendar. If we just, a couple of minor changes from the one that we looked at workshop. The main one being carry the load. If you'll recall last year, that group that was marching from New York to Texas came through Laverne, and we had the fire department put the big flag up over 4170 out there. Very well received, and they came back. They were so happy with what we were able to do in 4 days that they came and said that they wanted to make Laverne, excuse me, a hard stop So this year on May 17th, which happens to be a Friday, they are going to come here to Laverne and spend the night, and we thought that it would be a great opportunity to make it a civic event, probably most likely do it right here at Bicentennial Park, have some music, get some food vendors to come out. We'll ask the high school if they can come over and do something with the bands or Corley, whomever. We'll put it out there for anybody that would want to come, but it'll be a great opportunity for the community to pull together. Carry the Load is for military, police, fire, who have made the ultimate sacrifice through the course of their jobs. So they'll be coming through again. It's May the 17th. Anybody in the city that wants to be a part of the planning or the execution or sponsorship or whatever you'd like to do can contact myself at Parks and Recreation. If I put Kathy on the spot, call Kathy over at City Hall. But we're excited about that, and everything else is what we had talked about at the workshop last month.
Okay. All right, we'll move to number 3. There's no further discussion. Something new, I believe, Parks Department is kind of up their field usage fees, maybe to, I guess, bring it within a normal range of what surrounding cities have. You want to address that?
Okay, in your packet, the red sheet here is just a comparison for some of the surrounding cities, municipalities that rent their fields to travel teams or host tournaments that aren't part of their house league or their rec league. Anticipating some what's the word I'm looking for here? Some folks are not going to like it. And we can talk about the fees if we think we need to, but you can see that the other municipalities around us are charging, in some cases, a pretty hefty fee to use their ball fields. I don't think ours are out of line. We're looking at $20 per hour, regardless if it's lights or no lights. And this is for travel ball. This is not to affect our rec league at all. We would allow them to practice on Wednesdays and Sundays, which typically the rec league does not play on those nights unless it's a rain out or a makeup from the previous week. Our tournament cost for somebody that come in and use the fields for a tournament would be $100 per field per day and $10 per team. And that's the same as what Smyrna has. And you can see there's some other fee schedules there for different cities. But again, we're not out of line. And then there's some other restrictions that some folks have. Smyrna has a requirement that if your teams are 12 years and under, 75% of the kids on the team have to be residents of Smyrna, and for teams 13 and up, 50%. So again, we're not trying to scare travel teams off or force them away. We're just trying to get our fee schedule in line with what other cities around us are doing. Again, this is open for discussion. If we deem necessary, or we can just go with this, or however you guys, want to recommend on this, we'll take that back and move forward.
Jeff, what is the increasage?
I'm sorry?
What is the increasage amount from the $20? What was it previously?
See, it's a totally different system. Before, a travel team would pay the league $350, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
and practice on the fields as it became available. And that would include, there'd be travel practice could be going on while there's a game going on the field next to it. We're just trying to distinguish the two, separate them out. Again, typically Wednesdays and Sundays are the nights that the rec league does not play. But it is it's a whole new approach to the travel ball system.
I see, I think it's Smyrna. Are we planning to have the same kind of deal with under comments where if regular rec ball needs those due to rainouts and makeup games, they would have first priority?
They do.
Okay.
They'll just bump them out, and the travel teams will be well aware of that. And we'll tell them far enough in advance. We most likely wouldn't reschedule a Tuesday night rainout for a Wednesday night. It would probably be a week, or at least the Sunday before. So there'd be enough time to let them know, and then we would just carry forward their payment. I mean, if they had already paid for a practice on Wednesday, we'd carry it forward to the next available spot.
Is there a way to keep it fair, like one travel team can't come in there and take up all the time?
Well, that's why we limit it to 2 bookings at a time.
Okay.
You can come in and you can book this Wednesday and this Sunday, but that's done. And then, Bob's team can come in and he can book. But we've got 8 fields to work with at Veterans, and one ball field down here for the senior field. So, I mean, there should be, if we limit it to 2 practices at a time, there should be ample opportunity for everybody to be afforded. And that was one of the reasons we did this like we did, because in years past, somebody would jump on, everybody wants to practice at 6 o'clock. So they say, okay, give me all the Wednesdays from now until the end of the year. Well, that's not fair. If Bob's the one that makes that call first and Jason's got a team, that's not fair to Jason if Bob's got all the 6 o'clock slots on Wednesday. So that was kind of the mindset there, was trying to make it equitable for everybody so that one team can't just lock in all the practice sessions.
How's demand for this, for the fields? I mean, is it pretty regular? Is it?
Last year it wasn't as bad. I think there was only 3 or 4 travel teams.
At its peak, it's probably about 10, 12 teams, and I think maybe 3 to 5 teams, what I understand, last year.
Mm-hmm. But there were plenty of slots. I mean, we're talking about two separate slots on Sundays and then Wednesdays, so there's plenty of slots for the dirt fields and the grass fields both, so shouldn't be an issue. What it's going to take a little learning curve is for the guys to realize that Wednesdays and Sundays are their days to practice, and that's only to not interfere with the recreation program.
Anything further? All right, move on to number 4, which is the Greenway update, community meeting, / some discussion about sidewalks and the trailhead, or sidewalk versus the trailhead possibly. So you want to get us up to speed on that?
I hadn't planned on doing this, but I've got the Greenway Advisory Meeting slideshow queued up that we're going to show next hour. We can just run through it real quick, and you guys can take a look at it. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Maybe. There we go. Okay, these numbers are pretty, well, they're old. This money was awarded to us in 1999. $1.4 million from the state, $115 from enhancement, and city funding. Our piece of the pie is $387,000 for a total project of $1,935,480. We must receive a notice to proceed with construction by July of next year, and the project must be complete on or before July 7th, 2016. We certainly hope that we can make those times. This was rough to read. I understand that. This is the library right down here. We're going underneath here, east near Shreveman, and along east near Shreveman all the way up to the roundabout right here. This picture's a little bit better or a little bit easier to see. That's the same route that I just described. What we're going to present before the Greenway Committee this evening, in addition to this overview, we have 2 things we need to decide on. Do we want to continue the sidewalk from where the trailhead is here down to the intersection of Kentucky Fried Chicken along east near Shreveman, or do we want to develop this trailhead or possibly this trailhead here? The monies, it could, using Cheney and Fergus as a model, that little chunk of sidewalk right there probably would be in excess of $200,000, probably closer to $250,000 because of the water that's there, and that's the old beaver dam right there that we've had issues with. And personally, my recommendation would be to embellish the trailhead up here versus the sidewalk. And my thought process is, if anybody ever develops the land over here, that person's going to have to build sidewalks. Well, I would assume that that person will have to build sidewalks. If we were to build the sidewalks there and not put the money up here, I don't know where we would get this money in the future. There's at least an option there that somebody were to develop it, or being such a small project, we may be able to fund that in a different way than using our Greenway money. Kyle Brown, city engineer, walked the potential route. Here we are right in front of the multi-purpose building over there by the log cabin. Come back behind. And this is looking, that's east near Shreveport, right behind those trees, and there's the 3 viaduct bridge that the Greenway will go underneath the leftmost viaduct there. You can see that right there. That bridge was actually altered when it was constructed to accommodate the Greenway going underneath there. Now, in the event that we don't embellish the trailhead and we'd use that money to do the sidewalk, this would most likely be the primary trailhead for the trail, or for the Greenway. And again, this is right behind the senior field at the adult softball field. Okay, now we're up on east near Shreveport. On the other side, there's the viaduct, or the bridge coming out right here. This is looking down east near Shreveport to the proposed trailhead, this whole area in here. You got Weatherford is right over here. And the entrance to the trailhead would be in the vicinity of this intersection right here between Weatherford and east near Shreveport. And then to the right is core property. The Greenway will come up next to the road here and hug the road all the way to the end of the roundabout. That's the old road bed right there that goes up to the core property. It's about 3 miles, well, it goes through the core property all the way out to Hurricane Creek boat ramp. And the grand scheme is down the road, we would obtain that property as well and continue the Greenway all the way out to the boat ramp. And of course, you know, we've got a fairly elaborate sidewalk system here at the roundabout that takes you back down Stones River, back down to the Kangaroo Station and down in front of 4170. So by getting here, we really are going to improve our Greenway system more than just sidewalks. I know we've spent some money in the past on Greenway, which sidewalks are fine. It's all about alternate modes of travel, so we're well within the definition, but it's nice to get some Greenway in here versus just some sidewalks. Again, that's another view of the roundabout. This is the Kentucky Fried Chicken. I say Kentucky Fried. This is the portion from where it comes underneath the bridge looking back on down east near Shreveport, around the curve to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Then some typical trailheads. This is Cason Lane. Just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. Obviously, parking is of major importance. You know, depending on what kind of monies we have left, we've got some pavilions, obviously parking. There's a larger corporate pavilion. We cannot use this money to build playgrounds. We'd have to find that from somewhere else. But we can use money for bike racks and benches and garbage cans and things like that. That's what I'm going to present to the Greenway Advisory Committee this evening, is give them some ideas of things to start looking at as, you know, which direction do we want to go. There's a bathroom facility, nothing over the top, but it's, you know, it's men's and women's bathroom with a mechanical chase in the middle for air conditioning and water heaters and all that good stuff. And then that's just the entrance to Cason Lane, nothing special. They have a gate on there that somebody physically closes at night. We may need to look at that. I know Smyrna uses police officers to do that. I don't know if our police department would be able to do that. I would I would hope so. If not, we could render, or we could come up with some kind of a gate, kind of like if you've ever been at that car wash over there by Toots. It's got a pressure switch on one side of it that the gate could come down on the entrance side, and then if people were inside when the park was closed, they could, cross that pressure switch and it would open and they could leave. So there's options there. I mean, it just depends where we want to spend our money. And whatever questions they might have, or whatever questions you might have. That's just kind of an overview of where we're at with the Greenway. Weiser's working on it. We will have a community meeting probably within a month, just to see, what the community wants and get their input. And then we'll sit down with Weiser and we'll fine tune it and probably advertise it this summer and be ready to move some dirt. Optimistically, fall, probably early spring of next year.
My thoughts, and of course we have a long way to go, but I agree with you on the sidewalks. If someone does, or when someone does develop Murfreesboro Road, I'm very certain now we will require them to put sidewalks there, especially for how much you're talking. I believe it came back, the estimate came back from Weiser that what we're wanting to do with the whole Greenway takes up the whole, 1.4 million or whatever. That would leave basically at the city's contribution to this to either put sidewalks in or that trailhead. And there's some great ideas. I think you all just heard, you all just found out that Trail of Tears went through this area, and there was maybe a theme that we could go off of there. But that's just my initial thoughts. But again, very early on, and not that both aren't great ideas, but I think if you're going to put a greenway in, to not put a trailhead there would limit it somewhat. So, any other thoughts, ideas?
No, I think it's pretty thorough.
Yeah.
I'm can't wait to hear what the Greenway's input is on that when you take this to them next.
Well, my thought is to give them a set of plans and some cost estimates, and there's some catalogs I've got to look through, and prior to this community meeting, let them have an opportunity to review that so that they can sit up there and listen to, what our constituents have to say and speak intelligently on it. Because it's been a long time coming, and we want to make sure we do it right. But at the same time, we want to make sure we're doing what's best for the city, what's best for the citizens, what's best for Laverne as a whole. So.
Sure. And again, it's the first phase right there on the actual Hurricane Creek and what we want to develop on the lake. So again, I'm with you. I think that my thoughts is that we do it right. I mean, and again, because the monies aren't going to be available. There's not a second grant or third grant coming. Right. So, but again, it's I guess it's a good problem to have some capital cash to spend. So.
How are we going to hook up to Smyrna? Isn't that supposed to hook on up to Smyrna?
Not with this leg. That'd be a future leg. When this money was approved in 1999, it was pre-911, and the plan was to come around the airport by the Guard property and come out there, the vicinity of Morningside and Old Jones Mill Road out that way. It's my understanding that after 9/11, the Guard did not want the traffic, vehicular or otherwise, coming through the National Guard property over there. So the only other option would be, that comes to mind, is if they were to come up, I'm not sure the name of the road right there by the airport, where it gets to the top of the hill. Our road is Fisk, that comes behind the Tiger Market. There's a little road called Fisk that goes up and stops at a field probably a couple hundred feet, maybe 1,000 feet up the road. That would be, in my estimation, that would be the only place that we'd be able to tie in with Smyrna, given what we have right now, because that's the only place that they have in the foreseeable future to build sidewalks going up that road.
That would come all the way back around then, right?
I'm sorry?
It would be from the boat ramp, and then how's it going to come back around up to there? How's it going to get up there?
Well, that particular leg would probably tie into the sidewalks and come down Murfreesboro Road. I don't know that there's a plan to put sidewalks down Fergus from there back over to the roundabout. We'd probably look at doing sidewalks then from Fergus down the rest of 4170 to tie into what we've got.
But that's on down the road.
Well, again, the good news is I think we're completing phases that have sat out there forever. And had we not moved on this, and if we don't move on, if we have a deadline now,
Yeah.
that money's gone. And you know, will we ever get anything like that back again? So I guess the positive way to look at it, in my opinion, is we started it with Brookside. This is another continuation of it, and hopefully we keep working towards a completion. So, and I think it's not just an issue that we have. I think that's the original Greenway was supposed to connect from California to Boston. Am I correct? So,
Yeah.
you know, and certainly there's Greenways, but we're not completed there. So,
It's long overdue.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's just a step-by-step process.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, do you want to just tie into that real quick? Just give an update on the safe routes to school. We brought that up before, and where we're
Safe
at with that.
routes, we put it out to bid. We did get a low bid came in, and we sent it off. The council approved it. We sent it off to the state for concurrence. The state kicked it back, saying that the company that was awarded the contract did not successfully complete the paperwork, you know, in accordance with their guidelines. So they told us that we need to go back and use the next highest bidder. We're cautious on doing that right now because that's what happened with the Fergus Road thing, where Sessions submitted their paperwork as INC when they were listed on the approved list as a LLC, and they came back and told us that we had to go to the next highest bidder, and it just got real complicated. So I think Kyle, when we get to the Mayor Alderman board meeting in March, we'll revisit that and see where we're at. But we're well within our time frame for that, even with this minor step back. We have until September of this year to complete the project. I think we're looking at a 30-day, maybe at most a 45-day turnaround from the time that the contract is awarded till completion, because we're only talking about a 1,200-foot section of sidewalk that has no environmental or anything like that. So it should be pretty cut and dry once we get there. But again, it's just a series of gates that we need to move through to get this federal money. And this is 100% funded by the government, so less some engineering cost and some construction engineering inspection cost. It won't cost the city much to get that sidewalk. And then we'll be connected from the schools all the way to Sand Hill, and we'll have a comprehensive sidewalk system that basically will get you from the library out to the schools.
Like the setback, I don't think it hurts us as much as if it happened a month or two from now, because again, probably when we do start construction, it will be at the end of school, which again, we won't be slowing down buses or kids walking, put them in the street right now. So, good deal. Anything further? All right. Guys, the next meeting will be a workshop. It's March 18th. It will be here. And that takes us down to any comments that we may have. We'll start with our new members first. Deb, if you have anything you'd like to put you on the spot right off the bat.
Basically, I just look forward to collaborating. I know many of you already, and I'm very excited to be here serving on the committee. Have lots of ideas for the future, and I look forward to working with everyone.
Awesome. Jason?
Well, thanks to everyone for letting me be a part here, and I hope to bring some new ideas and different insights into some of the projects.
Bob?
I'd like to welcome the new members of the board. I think I'm probably one of the oldest around, so hope that you stay as long as I have. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be around, but I enjoy this.
Long time,
Yeah,
Bob.
You're not going anywhere.
enjoyed working with fine people on the board, and she's always a big fun.
And we got you
See her
hat
pretty
tonight, right?
smile. And I got my hat, got
There you go.
another hat.
All right.
And Jeff does a great job with the Parks and Recreation.
Thank you.
And so does his assistant, what's her name? I can't think of her name. I'm bad about
Julie
names.
Wilson.
Yes, and she does a great job getting things out. And of course, my friend over there, Kathy, she does a great job for the city. She's very much involved in all the things. I seen her on TV the other night too.
That was a sad thing.
Yeah, you do a great job. The city needs to be thankful for you.
Good deal. Ms. Laura?
I'd like to welcome you both. We are going to have some fun. It looks like it's going to be a pretty fun year. Last year was amazing. So now we got to see what we can do to ramp it up a little bit and beat ourselves from last year's stuff. So I do know Deb and I do know Jason, and I think we've got a really good mix going on here. So I'm excited for all the stuff coming up this year.
Well, again, as I said earlier, welcome, and you know, I know you'll bring some new ideas and some different ideas, as you said, and you both, I know, love this city very much, and so we have a real awesome board here, and just thrilled to have everyone on it. I do have a question though, Jeff, just while you were going through that. I didn't see hurricane cleanup. Are we not going to do that this year? Have we just overlooked that at all as far as hurricane season?
That was a stormwater thing.
Okay.
That we helped with in the past, and with Katie's departure.
Right.
Actually, this is going to sound horrible, but that was a requirement we had to have to get some stormwater money in the past. That we've met that obligation. I'm not opposed to doing it. I mean, I'd like to do it before the snakes come back out, if we can. So maybe that'd be an Earth Day project.
Okay. Well, good deal. Other than that, again, thank you. And if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn.